Oh. No, this is it. Oh, fine, yeah. Very nice. Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm deeply honoured, actually, yeah. Very privileged. Very pleased and delighted, and to see it on such a lovely trophy of Waterford crystal and what have you. And the words on it are just enough. Love it, love it.
In 2017, the Welsh Open Trophy was renamed in honour of the great Ray Reardon. A six-time world champion, Ray dominated the game in the 70s. One of the greatest to ever pick up a cue, Ray died at the age of 91 in July of last year. Just 5 months later, Welsh snooker lost another legend and true icon as Terry Griffiths, the 1979 world champion, sadly passed away at the age of 77. Two giants of the game, both men were tremendous entertainers, and of course they were blessed with that wonderful Welsh sense of humour.
I'm in the final now, you know.
Terry. Everybody loved Terry, and I think it was that endearing Welsh accent that everybody loved about Terry, as well as being a wonderful person. But what a snooker player.
I've never heard anybody say one bad word about him. That's why I think everyone went to him for coaching and help, because he was there to help anyone. You know, I've been good friends with him since I was 12, 13, going to his club, and he coached me winning one of the World Championships.
And there it goes.
The great Ray Reardon, I would have him in my top 5 players, or certainly top 8 players of all time, even to this day, because I've played some matches against him where he was absolutely outstanding.
We talk about Joe Davis, the Davis brothers sort of, you know, building the game up, but I think it was Ray and that era that really took snooker from, you know, a niche sport to, you know, straight in the front of the public brain.
Well, Ray had the nickname Dracula. In fact, he used to have Dracula on his cue case, and I remember him turning up at the Crucible with the cape on and walked into the arena there dressed like Dracula. He had a wonderful presence, Ray. No matter where he went, if he walked into a room, the atmosphere was wonderful, and he used to command his presence. Just, it was something else. And he told a great story. I mean, I remember going to Jersey, and I'd appeared on Pop Black. I think this is the mid-70s. Everybody was coming up talking to him, and nobody had a clue who I was. And I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if people recognised you for playing snooker?
Arguably the world's finest snooker player, Ray Reardon.
I learned a lot from Ray. You know, he was very good with the public, very good with the trick shots, and just a wonderful, wonderful ambassador for not only Wales, but for our wonderful game of snooker.
Terry obviously had a wonderful demeanour. He was a lovely man, but he also had the CV to back it up. When he spoke about snooker, everybody listened.
Of course, we had a great battle in the 1979 World Championship final.
And I thought, I've come all this way now, and what I'm got to do, I'm going to win the championship. And I didn't have the right to say that, because Dennis, obviously, a very good player.
I led Terry 15-13, and I'll never forget, he won the last 2 frames of that evening, and he came out on the final day, and he outplayed me. He played wonderful snooker.
And Dennis Taylor concedes a great performance by a very cool and calculated snooker star.
When I go to the Crucible, I see my foot up on the wall. I want to go like this, but I don't.
It was funny at the time, Terry didn't have a car up with him. So the World Championship trophy that I'd been trying to win for 4 or 5 years finished up in the boot of my car. So I've got the World Championship trophy in the boot of the car, but I haven't won it. It's Terry that's won it.
So nice to see so many faces, you know, again. I'd like to offer you all in for champagne, but I don't think that there's enough champagne in the world to celebrate the way I feel at the moment.
Born in Tredegar, Ray became a miner at the age of 14 before leaving the profession, having been involved in a terrible accident that almost claimed his life.
You're buried. You're under about 4 or 5 tons of rubble. You open your mouth to breathe and all the particles of dust goes into your mouth and you think, oh, I mustn't do that. And I survived. So I said, I don't think I'm worried about a game of snooker. There's other things in life, you know. It's not the end of the world, it's a game of snooker.
Ray went on to become a policeman whilst flourishing on the amateur snooker scene before turning professional in 1967 at the relatively late age of 34.
Every experience with Ray was funny, you know, he always had a one-liner. He was an absolute old-school gent, but if you stepped out of line, he wasn't afraid to tell you either. The first time I met him, he invited me to go and practice with him at his club there on the south coast, and when I got there, in an empty car park, he told me off for parking in his space.
Probably one of the most important people in my life, really. You know, I said there's been 3 people in my life that really impacted me massively, and Ray's one of them, you know, so yeah, definitely say we had a special relationship, massive love for Ray, you know.
You know, Reardon and snooker, he sort of put it on the map from the start, really. If he was a Welsh rugby player or a football player, he'd have statues all around Wales, you know, in the cities, because he's one of the best Welsh sportsmen we've ever had.
Born in Llanelli, Terry was 30 before he turned professional, and after hanging up his cue in 1997, he dedicated his snooker life to coaching the next generation of players.
Just a total gentleman, total absolute gentleman of the game, and such a big mentor to all the top boys. They all speak so highly of him. He had the buzz for the coaching and helping the next generation of the Welsh stars, but it wasn't just the Welsh stars he was helping, it was other stars of the game. So yeah, just class, just a class person.
What I wanted to do is help people to play better.
Probably the best coach there's ever been in the game, one of the best pundits there's ever been in the game, and I'm sure Annette and Wayne and the rest of the family would all say he's probably one of the best people you could ever wish to meet off the table as well, so just a mark of the man.
One memory that sticks out for me was my debut at the Crucible. I played Sean Murphy and Terry was in the commentary box. I managed to win the game 10-8, but it was like, you know, the biggest win of my life, and I've come out to the arena and Terry's come down from the commentary box. Thought he was going to shake my hand. He almost rugby tackled me, gave me a bear hug and said, "Well done, boy, you made me so proud." One way or another, whether he coached players or just having a chat with him, he was always around, and every player would have a story about Terry.
I remember the first time I ever played at the Masters, and I was playing Judd Trump in the wildcard round, and I was so nervous, and I was 3-1 up at the interval, but I felt physically sick with just how nervous I was. It was such a big occasion for me. And he just said something so simple, and it was just, well, how do you think he's feeling? Because he's 3-1 down. And it just instantly settled me. It was just, he knew what to say and when to say it.
Fittingly, tonight's winner will get their hands on this Ray Reardon trophy, and when he does, I'm sure both Terry and Ray will be in the thoughts of many. 2 humble Welshmen whose achievements in this sport will be remembered forever.
He was proud to have his name on it, and he used to present it for the first few years. You know, he loved that, and I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'd like to see something like that for Terry now as well. I don't know what he can do, but something, whatever it is, should be there for Griffiths' memory as well, you know. But something would be nice to keep his name going, you know.
The snooker world has lost a couple of Welsh legends, and they were certainly 2 of the greatest players that the game's ever seen.
What I did find out and I think about is winning isn't everything. It never is, because nobody wins all the time.
Somebody once said snooker was a sign of a misspent youth. Well, all I can say to those people are, I wish I'd started earlier. It's been a great trip. I loved every moment. I'd love to do it again.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is only appropriate that we take a moment to remember 2 legends of the game.
And it was a really touching tribute earlier on when we had that minute's applause inside Venue Cymru for Terry Griffiths and Ray Reardon. Really emotional moment for those who knew them well and loved them as we did. I mean, we're going to miss them.
Greatly. I mean, I practiced with Ray Reardon for 4 days before I won the Grand Prix back in '97. I was just in my mid-20s then. I used to practice long before that when I was playing for Wales in the home internationals as my mid-teens with Terry Griffiths. I used to go to his house in Hale and Money in Llanelli and practice with him. I mean, his safety play was amazing. He used to tie up in knots. But do you know, they spent so much time, though, on the exhibition circuits. They had fantastic dry senses of humour. You know, I remember once asking Ray Reardon about Alex Higgins, who I did know, but not in his heyday years. And I said to Ray, I said, what was Alex like as a player? He says, oh, he was a great player. He must have been. He beat me once. Just typical Ray Reardon.
Yeah, I think I heard that story as well, because I've been down to see him a couple of times at his favourite golf club down in Devon. You know, just 2 winners, weren't they, and 2 great characters. What somebody told me about Terry Griffiths, Darren, was that they knew somebody who lived near him. I think he lived on the road between Llanelli and Bury Port. And when he won the World Championship, he put that trophy up in the front window on a plinth so everyone driving past could see it. He was so proud.
Yeah, absolutely, you know, and it just shows you how things have changed these days, you know, because I don't think World Snooker would be too happy if you stuck the original in a window now, and I don't think it'd be there for long, you know, but no, look, fantastic characters pair, and, you know, they're going to be missed without a shadow of a doubt. I was really emotional watching all that earlier on. Lovely to look back as well on all the old footage.